Well, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Report. Morning Report is a production of Fightbackmedia.com, 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 and FightbackMediaTV.com. Trust that you are well today. Let's talk about the FEMA. Yeah, because you're curious. What about FEMA? Fortunately, we have governors in the state of Florida who have lived through this kind of stuff and know what to do from an administrative level. And Governor DeSantis has been the best. Absolutely, positively the best. He hasn't made any missteps that any of us know about, okay? So you can see the difference. And I think it's experience, really, more than anything. I'm not downing any of the, I'm not second guessing any of the decisions made by the governors of Tennessee or North Carolina. I think it's just an experience thing. So what do you have waiting? What do you have ready to go? And I think Governor DeSantis knew all the things that he would need to have ready to go, and was able to do that, able to marshal all that, able to, declare the federal emergency early enough, all that stuff, able to do, and understand what FEMA's role in these disasters. Now, I think a lot of people who don't know how all this works is under some weird impression. Oh, cool. Some weird impression that FEMA takes the lead role because they're federal. The answer to that question is no. FEMA does not take the lead role. FEMA is basically, and that's why this statement early on last week was so important. FEMA takes the purse role. They provide the funds. So when Mayorkas, who I believe caused all the ruckus, not Trump, Mayorkas says that we may not have enough funds to get through the rest of hurricane season. Mayorkas says this. He created the crap storm that they're trying to lay on Trump. All Trump and Gateway Pundit and me and others have said is what Mayorkas said. And then we're able to look at the funds that they control and go, well, I don't know. Maybe if you hadn't started this illegal immigrant migration resettlement program y'all got working, there would be money. Maybe over the past 2 fiscal years, hadn't given away $1 billion to this resettlement program you guys got going on, maybe there would be funds. It's really that simple. It really is that simple. So you've got people who are, who have their heads on fire. I can't believe Trump would say something like that in a time of emergency. Well, this is the best time. Why? Because people are sensitive to it now. People are paying attention now. This is the danger. These are the consequences. Why? Because FEMA, again, we're not looking for FEMA to come down and do the stuff that our governor already had in place. FEMA didn't put together the program to have 6,000 linemen ready to come and restore power, and all the vehicles and all the stuff. That wasn't FEMA. That was the state of Florida. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I think a lot of you have it, especially if you're from somewhere else who haven't been through this at all, or even if you're here in the state of Florida and you haven't been through it. It is not the federal government. We always hear about FEMA. FEMA is just the pocketbook. That's it. FEMA's role is the purse. They're the pocketbook. The boots on the ground, the people who wade in the water, and rescue people from their mobile homes. Yes, they should have left all that stuff. The people who climb the poles and get the power restored in areas where there's firehouses and hospitals and all that stuff, and all that set up by the state of Florida in cooperation with local sheriff's departments, local police departments, local fire departments, local administrations. Yeah, that's the whole, we can do this on our own. Yes, it is important that this gets paid for, because all these things cost an incredible amount of money. And the state of Florida and other states have funds by which they can draw from. And a lot of those funds, sadly, in my opinion, are funded by the federal government, FEMA, or organizations like that. So, some colons got tight when Mayorkas says that we may not have enough money to get through hurricanes. He's like, we here in Florida going, it's October. We're not done with this mess until mid-November. Wait, what? Y'all may not have enough money. So what the hell have you been doing with the money? Oh, you've been giving it to your illegal immigrant resettlement program. Okay, $600 million. Oh, okay, yeah, we got you. That's what you've been doing with the money. So again, Mayorkas started this crap storm. And what they know is that a lot of people don't understand how it works and are overly emotionally sensitive. So we sometimes we behave like, even people here in the state of Florida behave like we can't talk about this stuff in a harsh, rational way because it's also emotional. Now, like I said, showed you a little bit ago. Yes, it's incredibly emotional. If you see how people are suffering and what people have lost, people who have worked their whole lives for, and what they have lost, and how they will have to come back, if they can come back at all. There are areas of West Central Florida to the south there that they're not going to be allowed to rebuild. They will not. They have lost everything and will not be allowed to rebuild. So they will have to resettle their lives. Now, where is FEMA in their resettlement program? Oh, you want to talk about the $750? Okay, we'll know about that. So when they come out with, and you hear from Vice President Harris about people can apply for this money, and that you may be awarded up to $750. Yes, their rollout was BS because it was their rollout. $750, and you may get it or you may not get it. That was their rollout. So they created this crap storm. The administration, created this crap storm. Why? Because they weren't clear. Instead of saying, now, of course, I am not a federal blah, 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 but let me help you with this. We are offering $750 emergency funds to get people started, to get them out of their worst way. Because we can get that amount of money to them quickly. If they have, thanks to Starlink, providing cell phone service, if they can find a way, some possible way to apply. Now, again, they said you have to apply. Well, we're talking about people who don't have electricity or cell service. They have to apply? How? So if FEMA and the state aren't provided with methodologies or technologies to move into these areas to allow people to do that, which is what they should have done first, and say, this is just the beginning, to get you on your feet, to have some of your needs met right now. If you need gasoline, if you need clothing, if you need food right now. It's not much, but it's a start. That'll get you in the program. How hard is that? How hard is that to say that? Instead of just leaving it at, well, here's $750. People have lost everything. And then they have the temerity, the nerve to say that, well, they should have known that, blah, 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 blah. That's weird. Blah, blah. Really? Because they, because they're incompetent, and we noticed. And we had the temerity to actually say something. Are you serious? Give me a damn break. Anyway, so that's what's going on. So now they've really kind of been forced into providing more money. Again, let's go back. Mayorkas says last week that they may not have enough money to get to hurricane season. Mayorkas, the person who was in charge of all this mess, he said that, not Trump. We just repeated what he said, and it caught our attention. Hell, it caught my attention. I was like, what? Oh, and here's the part that's rich. Mike Johnson, whatever you think about Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, now Mike Johnson is supposed to, and he's supposed to bring Congress back, the House back, and say, hey, we got to come back and we got to give them more money. Because if he doesn't do that, then all of this becomes Mike Johnson's fault. It falls on him, which is complete and total bull. All of this falls on the money that you had. Oh yeah, this was going to be in separate pockets. It's not the same monies. Well, the money that you had that you could have quickly just shifted over to emergency uses, you gave to the illegal immigrant resettlement programs. That's what you did. And somehow it's now Trump's fault. Somehow it's now Gateway Pundit's fault. And somehow it's my fault to some degree. Somehow it's Mike Johnson's fault. It's not Joe Biden or Kamala Harris's fault, or Mayorkas' fault. Oh no! Oh nay. Been watching a lot of John Panette videos. Oh nay. That's BS. If we're going to start nailing down responsibilities, we got to nail down the people who are actually responsible for this cluster, you know what. And the people who are actually doing a great job. And the people who are actually doing a great job are local officials in Florida, local sheriff's departments, state officials, state emergency officials who know what the hell they're doing, and a governor who knows how to marshal all the resources. That's what's actually happening, folks. That's what's actually happening here in the state of Florida, in the freedom state of Florida. We've been punched in the mouth. I ain't gonna lie. We have been punched in the mouth by these storms in the past month. Yes, but it's not the first time we've been punched in the mouth. Andrew comes to mind all the time. Michael comes to mind. Some of these storms will have punched us dead in the mouth. But because I told you in the beginning of the video, because we don't sit around waiting for the federal government to come rescue us. That we have systems in place, and we have governors, fortunately, and have had governors, and I'm not talking about some political party. I mean, we've had governors. We've had governors like Bob Graham, rest the dead. We've had governors like Charlie Crist, even. Right? We've had governors, and we've had sheriffs. I mean, we had sheriffs and emergency officials who knew what the hell they were doing. That we didn't sit around waiting for the federal government to come and rescue us. And of course, we've got the great people who live in Florida, who are, you know what, you can talk about Florida man all you want, but you know what, when it goes down, what you need is Florida man to pull up in that big in that big ass oversized truck and go, y'all need some? That's what you need. And you know what? That's what we got. And we got a lot of that. A bunch of that. My friends, it's going to be tough, but we're going to be fine. We'll be better than ever. will be better than anybody had ever guessed. And let me tell you now, do not let federal officials raise their hand in victory like they had something to do with it. Do not let Kamala Harris raise her hands in victory like she had something to do with it. Because I'm going to tell you from here, from ground zero, no, she have a damn thing to do with it. All those successes are on local officials, on all those electrical workers that came across the country. And you know what's not happening here? Those linemen are not getting robbed and not getting attacked like they were in other states, other places. That's not happening here in the great state of Florida. That's not happening. So it's super important that that some of you who are from other parts of the country get it. I'll say it this way. There's not a better place to be when it goes down than right here in the state of Florida. There's not a better place to be when it goes down than the state of Florida. Straight up. And this past month, not some ancient history, this past month has proved it. So proud of you, Florida. Let's do it. Anyway, got to get out of here, get in the store, and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Peace.